Hey, Kay.
Hey Boo, how are
I
you?
am good. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we are recording, so welcome to the Passion After Dark podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I am excited to dig into female masturbation. I'm really excited that you decided to join me in on this conversation because it is a much needed conversation.
So,
Yes. Well, before we jump in, I'm going to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to my guests. Tell them who you are.
so my name is Kay Guess. I am an urban paranormal author.
Mhm.
I'm from Philly and I am very comfortable with my sexuality.
Yes, say that.
You have to because it's so taboo. Like, sex isn't something that everyone does at some point in their lives.
Right, right. I mean, you would think the way people are so afraid to talk about it that nobody was having sex.
Not with all these kids running around.
Listen,
Somebody's doing something.
listen, somebody, and somebody's doing something right. So, well, before we get into the conversation, I sort of like to break the ice with my guests by playing a little game. And so, the game that I have is called Would You Rather? And so, I'm just going to throw out some questions and you're going to answer them. You don't have a choice, you can't change it. There's only two options, and you have to pick one, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. So, the first one is Would you rather never masturbate to porn again? Or only be allowed to masturbate to porn prodigies such as Star Wars or Game of Thrones.
Oh man. I'll take the first one. Never masturbate the porn again.
Okay, I ain't mad at you. All right, the next one. Would you rather your parents walk in on you while you're masturbating or dial your boss's number while masturbating?
Oh, that my boss number.
So they can handle it.
Yes. That's an easy way to get out.
Okay, I ain't mad at you. All right, the next one is Would you rather never get used to sex toys again, or I'm sorry, never get to use a sex toy again, or have to use household objects every time you masturbate?
What? Where kind of options is that?
Listen,
Okay.
what it is.
Okay, I'll just go with the toys. Never use a sex toy again.
Okay. All right, the next one is Would you rather find out your roommate can always hear you masturbating so you have to learn how to be quiet, or these are crazy. Remain blissfully ignorant to the fact that your roommate can definitely always hear you masturbating and carrying on as usual. So
Yeah, I'm just gonna carry on. Like,
yeah, it is what
put
it is.
headphones on. I'm gonna handle this real quick.
I mean, like we grown though, right? Like
Like, you probably in there doing it too.
it right. You just quiet. And
All right.
I'm just loud. All right. So the next one is Would you rather have your vibrator die right as you're about to come, or
Oh no.
have someone knock on the door right as you're about to come?
Oh, knock on the door because you can ignore that.
Yes, that's a fact. All right. Would you rather never masturbate again or have to masturbate 5 times a day every day forever?
Ah, okay, because I could do the 5 times a day, but then I'm thinking if I never masturbate again, that's what partners are for, but
Yeah,
they're not
but
always
still,
available.
right.
So I'll go with the 5 times a day.
I mean, right? Just fuck it. Hey, it is what it is. All right. I'm going to do two more. Would you rather never use lube or lotion while masturbating again, or spill a ridiculous amount of lube every time you masturbate, no matter where you are? This sounds like
Um,
for men.
it doesn't, I was about to say I don't even really
Um,
use lube,
yeah,
so
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna go with
say,
the first one.
yeah, like I'm okay with that. I get wet enough. I
Right.
know that. Um,
Listen, listen. I
all
got my
right.
own lubrication.
Listen. So the last one is Would you rather have to announce on, on Facebook or Twitter every time you're about to masturbate, or post an audio of your masturbation session each time?
Ah, Okay, so I'm gonna go with Facebook and Twitter, and the reason I picked that is because I can say it in a creative way
Yep.
where you really
Yep.
don't know what
Yep.
I'm doing.
You can be like, you know what? Self care Monday.
Yes, it's about that time.
It's about that time, and no one would know what it is.
Exactly. I can still be discreet without letting the whole world know what I'm about to do.
I like the way you think. Because that's what I would say. Well, that was fun. So, all right. Well, we're just going to jump right in to the topic of female masturbation. We know that for decades, female masturbation has been viewed as something negative.
Mhm.
And it has just, I mean, from your parents not necessarily teaching you about self pleasure or even how to discover what, you like, to way back even before then, where they said, that it was almost like a crime. They viewed female masturbation as almost a crime, but it was very encouraged for men to do it. And so this sort of makes me think about why women are so hidden now when it comes to self pleasure, and how women that I know are even really afraid to talk about going to the store and buying vibrators or buying dildos, let alone talking about self pleasure. Why do you think that it's still so hard for us to have conversations with other women, let alone our partners, about masturbation?
Well, for a long time, a very long time, sex in itself was viewed as something, as a pleasure for men, and
Right,
that us women weren't supposed to enjoy it, but we're supposed to do it because it's for our husbands or whoever we're with at the moment.
right,
Within the last few years, I've definitely seen a lot more women, proclaiming that, what they enjoy about sex, what they like about sex. But it still takes time to break down the taboos and the barriers
mm,
that's been mentally implanted from those years back.
right.
Um, the girls I hang with, or the group of females I know, we're very open
Okay,
about going to sex stores,
okay,
masturbating. Like, we're very candid about what we do and what we like, because we've come to the conclusion that sex is a wonderful thing, and we shouldn't deprive ourselves of the
right,
pleasure of it because of what someone else may think.
right.
People will always have an opinion about what you do or how you're doing it.
Yep,
And if you continue to live your life based on what someone may think of you, you will never enjoy
at all,
your life for you.
at all. You won't even enjoy life, period. For somebody
Exactly.
else, you just won't. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And I think it's really unfortunate that so many women, even though women are becoming more and more vocal about their sexual desires and their sexual lives and things like that, it's still very unfortunate that so many women are still hidden about this, even though they may still masturbate. They're afraid to talk about it. Now, was there ever a point in your life where you were embarrassed by the thought of masturbating, or even after masturbating, did you feel embarrassed?
Honestly, no. The only time I kind of felt embarrassed, or, kind of like, why am I doing it, or should I be doing it, is I felt like I was doing it too much. Like,
Uh,
I felt
yeah,
like I was turning into somebody, like I was rushing home, to pleasure myself.
yeah.
But um growing up, my mom was very open about, like, sex. Like, when I
Okay,
lost my virginity, I went straight to her.
okay,
I knew where babies came from at the age of 5. So I
okay,
wasn't never shy about it. So
okay.
when I started pleasuring myself, I'm like, well, you have babies from sex, so this is
Right.
like another form of sex. So it's normal. To me, it was normal.
Okay.
Unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's not like that, because you hear sex isn't something that you're supposed to be doing. So for someone else, they could have had plenty of embarrassing moments. But fortunately for
Right.
me, I just felt like I was doing it too much.
Right. So how did those conversations go with your mom? Because I know for me, I didn't have those conversations with my mother. All I remember her saying to me was, when you're ready to have sex, call me.
Okay.
That was it. Or my father just saying, don't do it. But no one has ever set me down as a child, um, and really talked to me about my body, certain urges that I might have, certain feelings that might come from the opposite sex, just different things that I felt I needed to know. So I explored a lot of that stuff on my own, maybe learned some things from my friends. But how did those conversations go with you and your mother?
Well, one of the things that my mom always stated with us growing up is that she really couldn't have those conversations with her mother. So
Okay.
she wanted us to be comfortable coming to her about anything because she didn't want us to get the wrong information from an
Right.
outside source. As your mom, she's going to have your back.
Right.
So I've always felt comfortable talking to my mom about uncomfortable situations. And it was just from growing up. Like when I asked where babies come from, I don't know nothing about the birds and the bees story. I couldn't tell you that story to save my life because my mom said you get a man and a woman, they
Right.
lay down, they have sex.
What happens?
Like that's my mom told me exactly what happened. She told me what's going to happen to my body when I get my period. And then back then we still had like sex ed type of classes.
Okay.
So um that opened up more doors. Now as I got older and I became more sexually active, when I started having sex, with boys and everything instead of touching on myself, masturbating
Right.
with myself. um I will go to my mom and ask these questions like, well, mom, like, is it supposed to feel like this? Not getting into too much details because that's still my mom.
Right.
But if it was something that I was uncomfortable with, I needed to speak with someone.
Right.
And who better than the person that's been guiding me
Listen,
all this time?
then your
Me
mother.
and her
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and we have conversations that people be like, oh my God, you shouldn't talk like that with your mom. My mom found the balance of being my friend and
Mm-hmm.
my mother.
Yeah, I love that. See, me and my mom have that relationship now, and more so because just when I got into a certain point in my life and a certain age, I realized that this is my mom. She knows who I am, but she also was once my age, and so I shouldn't be afraid to talk to her about certain things. And so I became more open with her,
Mm-hmm.
and our relationship definitely gotten, it changed and it became a much better relationship. But I do wish that I had those conversations with her early on in life, because I know for me, when it comes to self pleasure, it it felt like a job for a while. It felt
Okay.
like something that I was trying to figure out. Like, if it was like, okay, I know that everybody has this thing when they either are having sex or when they are masturbating, and that thing is an orgasm, but everybody has this thing. And, how do I get to that point? And
Right.
so it was like every time I did it, it wasn't about, oh my God, this just feels so good. It was like, no, I'm trying to make myself have an orgasm because I
Right.
want to know what it feels
What it
like.
feels like. Yeah.
And so it wasn't pleasurable for me back then. It didn't really become something more pleasurable until several years ago, to be completely honest. Because once I left a long relationship I was in several years ago, then I spent more time with my body and understanding my body and learning what it took to get me aroused and the things that I liked. And, just really spending time with myself is when I experienced a true orgasm given
Hmm.
to myself, me giving myself this orgasm. Um,
Right.
so I feel like having, those conversations early, then young women can experience these things early on, and they don't have to look to a man to give them that feeling or to provide that for them when they can actually provide it themselves.
Right. I totally agree with that because honestly, I don't even remember like my thoughts and feelings like when I first began masturbating.
Hmm.
Like it just became something that I did.
Oh,
It's like I knew what it was
right,
and I knew what the goal was supposed to be,
right,
but that wasn't on my mind. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then you just go on about it. But
right.
I think one thing that really helped me was like an ex-boyfriend of mine. He wasn't too much older, like 2 years older than me,
Hmm.
and he was the first one that wasn't selfish. So
Uh,
being with him helped me to learn what I liked.
See, isn't that amazing?
Broke up, I continued to like read different articles. I
Right,
continued to be more comfortable exploring other parts of my body,
right,
how to touch myself, which direction to go and which speed to go in. But it really did start with him because
right.
he wasn't selfish. He made sure, no, I'm making sure you good. I'm making
Oh,
sure because I was inexperienced.
yeah,
Like I had experience, but I was still inexperienced.
yeah. It's a big
And with
difference.
right, and with him, I'm like, oh, this is what it's supposed to. Okay, now I understand why y'all women going crazy.
Listen.
When you ain't when it ain't good, you like, why y'all tripping? But when
No,
you finally experience what
listen,
it is,
you ain't never lied. My last relationship, and I tell a lot of people that, although I'm very open now and I have stepped into this industry and I am very comfortable in it, I wasn't always comfortable in this space.
okay.
So my last relationship, which was a couple of years ago, I realized once I stepped out of it, I realized that I was not happy sexually. Like I can't
Mm,
even think of a time where I actually had an orgasm with him, or him
okay.
ever even asking me, "Did you come?" or "Did you enjoy that?" I just remember it being sort of like routine. I remember like when we were getting ready to have sex, I knew a position to get into because that was always the position that he wanted. You know what I mean? And I would suggest things to him, and he would shut them down so that I wouldn't suggest anything else.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until I left out of that, spent some time with myself, and then got with my current partner who is not selfish at all, but allows me to be myself. And I've learned so much about my body. And that's why I'm such an advocate for it now, because it's like some women are missing out,
Yes.
like truly missing out on that feeling and just, oh, it's
Listen,
just,
listen.
oh
When I
gosh.
when I hear grown women, and I mean like grown women, because I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm 31.
Okay.
So I'm
I'm
about,
36.
so you know what I mean when I say grown women.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
when I hear a grown woman say she's never had an orgasm,
Oh man.
I feel sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, you've never had it. Like, how can you not? I don't want to say how because I don't want nobody
Right.
to feel bad, but it's kind of
Right.
like even if you haven't had one with your partner, which is understandable because I know a lot of women can't
Right. Right.
it with a partner,
Right.
but you should be able to give one to
To
yourself.
yourself. Yes.
And that's what I'm like, sister girl, let's sit down and talk and
Yeah.
figure out how to help you.
Spend some time with your body.
Come with you. It's yours.
Yes.
It's
For the
yours.
rest of your life until you
If there's
die.
nobody else to touch it, you need to touch it.
Yes.
You need to
And
rub it, spank it, flick it, whatever's going to get you to where you need to go, you need to do it.
listen. So that leads me into mirror masturbation.
Okay.
Um, and I love mirror masturbation because it allows you to really become one with yourself and to see your body react in those moments.
Hmm.
I know for me, my first time masturbating in front of a mirror, I was able to make myself squirt.
Okay.
And because I really focused on myself and I watched my vagina contract, I watched it pulsate, I watched all of the different things that it went through in those moments. I was able to watch it, and that alone was a turn on for me. So have you experienced that, or have you tried mirror masturbation?
It's so funny because I'm listening to you and I'm like, I've never done that
Really?
before. I've never
To add that to
done
your list.
mirror masturbation. Now, what I have done,
Hmm.
I guess it's kind of like the same. I've recorded myself
Yes, yes,
masturbating,
yes.
and I sit back and I watch it, and
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I need to do that more often. But
Yes.
just like you, the first time I squirted was when I was masturbating.
Yeah.
And I seen it in the porn, and I'm like, women can't do that. Like, I've never heard of this. I've never seen this. Like, porn be doing too much. Like,
They do be doing too much
I
stuff.
just want it regular. Like, all of this isn't
Right.
necessary.
Right.
Again, I'm a researcher, so I started researching and reading. And I'm like, okay, so
Hmm.
this is doable.
Hmm.
And like you said, you relax, you let your
Hmm.
mind go, you just touch your body, you get highly aroused. And
Hmm.
I did it. And I was like, oh man, like I can do like this is okay.
Isn't it such an exciting feeling when you're able? So I've only been
Yes,
able to
it's
do it
an
through
accomplishment.
I've only been able to do it through masturbation. I haven't been. And people always say, "Oh, if you can't do it with your partner, then there's something going on," which I think is bullshit.
No,
I don't
definitely.
think it. I think for women, because okay. When I was in front of the mirror and I was making myself squirt, I had to really go deep into my head and be like, "Bitch, today."
It's the
you
day.
about to it's about to come out. But I had to really go into my head. But when I'm with my partner, I'm really in that moment to where I'm
Right.
not in my head like that. So I know that it's going to take some time, and I'm not in any sort of rush. Like I don't have to squirt. I have
Right.
an amazing sex life. I don't that I'm okay with wetting up the bed sheets. I don't need that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just needed to
Completely.
accomplish it for myself to mark it off of my self pleasure list. But I definitely think it's something that women should try and try in front of a mirror. I think you really are able to love your body more when you're watching it in that moment. Because I was reading this little fact about when women are, and it's not just when women and men, it says that when they are in a moment of arousal, they become sexually attracted and desire different things in that moment that they may have not desired before, or
Okay.
and I feel like that also goes to your body because you're in that state of arousal. You're looking at your body much differently. So now you're able to say, damn, my boobs are nice, or my ass
Hmm.
does look good. And I think that is another great form of self care, just taking care of yourself mentally. So I
Right.
love mirror masturbation for that reason, if
No, I
not because I
definitely
can make
agree with
myself
that.
squirt. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
because
try
it helps
it.
build up that confidence too. Like you were
Yep.
saying, when you
Yep.
see your body go through these changes, you build up that confidence because we all have things about our bodies that we don't like. It's normal,
Yeah.
but when you focus on what you do like, what you don't like isn't even important. So now
At
your walk
all.
is different, your talk is different,
Yep.
your aura is different
All you can
because
leave
of
that
that
next
self
day. That
confidence you have.
exactly. You can leave that day. Let's just say you masturbate before you go out for the evening, and you just bring that energy over you.
Hmm.
Do you know
Yeah.
what you're going to attract to you while you are out there enjoying
Listen,
yourself?
listen.
Like that energy that you're giving off is amazing. And that's why I believe that, manifesting during masturbation and stuff like that is so important, because you're really honed in on this energy that is so powerful in that moment, that it is you're boosting your self confidence.
Right, I agree 100% with
Yeah,
that.
it's oh, so yes, please add that to your list to sit in front of your mirror. Spread them legs. Ladies who are listening, spread them legs. Check out your vulva. Check out your labia. Check out your clitoris. You know what I'm saying? Like look at
Yeah.
all of you in that moment and just enjoy yourself in that moment, because that is your body. You want someone else to love it, but you don't love it yourself. You got to love that thing
Right.
first. And then you can
Yes.
give it to somebody else, and they're gonna be like, damn, this shit right here. Like,
Yes. It's wrapped in a package.
right?
Yes.
But so another thing that I've recently, so I'm always researching stuff too. I'm all over YouTube looking at different videos, reading different books. But one thing that I found for myself when it comes to masturbation that I wasn't previously doing is sort of spending time with other parts of my body.
Right.
So playing with my nipples, anal play, just different things like that. Do you incorporate other parts of your body when you masturbate?
Sometimes.
Oh,
Now, it's weird because like nipple play does
mm-hmm.
nothing for me.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can like rub my breasts. Like
Right.
I love grabbing them, I love squeezing them, but nipple play
Mm-hmm.
it just does nothing. Like honestly, if it happens during sex, it'll turn me off. Like it does
Oh,
nothing for
wow.
me.
Okay. Okay.
Um, other parts of my body. I've done anal play before.
Okay.
Um, so it doesn't happen too often.
Okay.
Usually, I'm just focused on getting that orgasm and going to work because that's usually
Right.
when I only have the time. And I know when I meet up with Bay, he gonna take care of everything else.
Right. You'll be
So
good.
when I have the time, I do explore. Like I do, like rubbing on myself. Like I
Right.
love my ass. I have a nice ass, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll like rub it.
You
I'll
about to have
squeeze
me go through
it.
your pictures. Your
You have to
booty.
look on my personal page, so that's on a personal page.
Oh, okay. You'll add me to that one later.
So I'm definitely in like my legs. So I do like
Okay.
rub on myself, get myself in the mood when I have the time. I
Okay.
still grab my chest, like even like slightly choking myself because I'm
Yes.
into.
Yes.
So I definitely incorporate it when I have the time, but if I don't, I get my little 10, 15 minutes, hit my goal, and I'm out the door.
Right, right. I agree that time does play a part in it. I know for me, if I'm, so usually, okay, so I love masturbating, right? And I love to be able to do it when I have time to
Yes.
spend a little bit more time with myself, versus rushing, even though I'll do it if I have to rush too, because I like to just see how fast I can make myself come. But I have found that I love anal play during masturbation. And I
Mhm.
have several different toys that I can use back there, but it it just gets me extremely wet. The sensation is just incredible. I love my boobs played with as well, but me playing with them on my own during masturbation, it does nothing for me as well.
Okay.
It's kind of just like, all right, girl, move on to the next.
Right.
But I do enjoy like recording myself. When I record myself, then I
Yes.
play with other parts of my body
Put on
because
the
I
show.
enjoy yeah. So that time is when I'm like, oh, okay, let me squeeze on this, let me rub on that, let me squeeze on my thighs a little bit. But I do want to get into more of seeing what other parts of my body do I get aroused from. I told
Okay.
myself I wanted to spend some time with that just to kind of see, just to be like, all right, because I know that my partner can play with certain areas and I just love it, but I want to see
Yes.
if I can do the same,
Okay.
you know.
I'm gonna need to know what
Yeah.
toys you got for that anal play too.
Listen, so I am going to be
Things and some
doing
things.
okay, so listen now, y'all. So I for those who are not following me on YouTube, but I have a YouTube channel
Yes, she
and
does.
it's yes I do. And so I have been sent quite a few toys and I'm going to be doing a review in about a week and a half on these last few items that I received. And so I'll, post all the information, but I received a vibrating anal plug and I cannot wait.
What?
Yes,
Bruh.
I cannot. And it has like a little crystal at the top. I just cannot wait.
Also, it's cute too.
Yes, it's cute.
You
But
gotta
I'll
let
be listen. I'm trying to hold on to this for Bay because he's like, you better wait for me so I can, we can
me know.
enjoy the stuff together. Because I just be getting so much stuff now a days, and so it's just like, oh my god, I want to hurry up and play with it. Like I got some toys now that I ain't never seen before. And when I tell you, I haven't even opened the box because I'm like, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. I had just discovered the rabbit vibrator. So I had did a
Okay,
review
yeah.
on that vibrator some time back. But that thing right there, when I tell you, sis, if you don't have one of these, I'm going to send you a link to where you can get it from because I believe that every woman needs this particular toy in their life because there is something about that clitoral and G spot stimulation at the exact same
I
time.
think I know what show you're talking about.
Whew, it is wild. And this particular toy has 10 different speeds. And when I say the orgasms that I have given myself from that toy have
Mhm.
been, listen, okay?
Yes, I'm definitely gonna need that link. I'm gonna need
Yes,
to see what you're talking about.
I'm gonna send you a link because I am an affiliate of Spectrum Boutique, which is an adult sex toy
Okay.
boutique. And so I have my own link and you guys can purchase toys from there. I'll make sure that's in the description section. But this is not about toys, this is about masturbation. But actually, this definitely takes me into the next part of this, which is needing certain assistance during masturbation. Like, you know, are you just a finger type of girl? Do you need to have a vibrator, a dildo? Do you need to watch porn? Should candles be going? What do you need when you're in that moment?
Okay. So now, I me and toys during masturbation, I can do without. Now, I love using toys with Bay. Like
Okay.
that's I'm into all of that. But when it's just me, my
Hmm.
fingers get me where I need to go.
Okay.
Like I know what kind of pressure I need. I know what kind of movements I need. Like I don't even have to think about it because I've been
You're...
doing it a long time. So
we
I know
know.
how.
We know.
Definitely, I'm a porn girl.
Okay.
XNXX, that's my site.
Okay.
I'm definitely a porn girl. Depending on how I'm feeling, is what I'm gonna watch that day. But
Okay. Oh, so you have a different categories that you go to.
yeah, like sometimes
Well,
because
what's your go-to one?
now my my ultimate go-to that I know for a fact that's going to get me aroused and where I need to be is scissoring. Lesbian
Really?
scissoring.
You know what's so funny about that? Okay, I love lesbian porn, right?
Yes, I love it.
It drives me crazy. I have to watch it. So when it comes to scissor, I'm going. This is a confession. All right.
I'm listening now.
Okay, when it comes to scissoring, oh yeah, all right. Oh, so I'm a very visual person, right? I need to see everything that is happening in a porn, especially porns. Like I need to see it. But with scissoring, I have not been able to find the perfect video where I could see. I'm gonna get really graphic here, where I could see the clits rubbing together, the vaginas touching, the juices flowing between. Like I need to see that when it comes to
Yeah,
scissoring.
I'm gonna have to send you the links to the one I
Yes.
watch because because I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
That's what does it for me too. Because when I see it, I'm like, I know what that feels like. So
Okay.
it gets you more rides. It plays on your imagination.
Right.
So I definitely that's one of my go-tos.
Okay.
Threesomes is a go-to. My
Okay.
thing with the lesbian porn, like I love the audio. Like
Oh, the sounds. Yes.
so yeah, like I don't like quiet. I don't like fake. I don't like the extra. Like I can when I know it's fake, I
Mhm.
can't because I'm like really, really girl. Like stop.
Like that moan did not even sound real.
Like make me a believer. Make me want to be you. Like make me want to be like, oh, I need to have sex with him.
You know who made me a believer? The porn star that made me a believer? Vanessa Vera Cruz. She is a lesbian porn star. When I tell you this woman be devouring that pussy, like it's like she is in love with it. And every single porn that I've ever seen her do, she treats them all the same way. And I appreciate that because I like to see you wet. I want to see you come. I don't,
Right.
I know this is fake. I know you guys are being paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that position you're in, you're only doing that for the camera. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But at least join me in this moment that I am having with you and
Girl,
make me believe it.
I say that every day. Be in this moment with me.
Please.
That is my slogan, and I understand. And I get so frustrated when I'm trying to find the right video,
Mm,
and I don't need you to be. I just need it to be real. Just like
yeah.
when the men like are completely silent. Like,
Yeah.
bro, are you dead?
Yeah.
Right? A growl? I don't care if you bark, but say something.
Not a
Like,
bark.
okay, not a bark, but you know what I mean.
Right. A good grunt, like a good
Yes,
grunt.
because you a
Yeah.
man, so you can give
Yeah.
me a strong grunt,
Yeah.
a nice deep moan like that. To hear a man,
Girl, listen.
listen,
Mm, that alone.
yeah. So to answer your question,
Oh yeah. Back to the question.
you both go completely off the um my fingers work. I watch porn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. If I have time, I definitely romance myself. I get in the tub. I'll start in the tub, rubbing on myself, getting myself together, get myself aroused. I'll
Mm,
get out the tub. I had a candle lit, the slow
mm,
music
mm.
going. Girl, have a whole date with
Ain't that
myself.
that's what every woman should do at least. If you can't do this often, I would say maybe once every 2 weeks, have a moment where you truly romance yourself. Pour you a nice glass of wine, get you some good lavender scent candles, get you a nice bath running, and don't rush into it. Really, really romance yourself. Eat a good dinner. You know what I'm saying? Watch a good movie, then take a nice bath, sip some wine, make it a whole evening where you are just spending time loving on yourself. And then in that night, with the best fucking orgasm you can give your goddamn self.
Put yourself to sleep, okay?
What?
Just
Listen.
roll over and go to sleep.
Oh, those kind of masturbation sessions
You
are.
know, listen.
Oh.
We over here speaking the same language, sis. The same language. We are kindred souls right now.
Listen, those type of sessions are incredible where you're just like, all right, I did that. Let me
Right?
go. You know what? I ain't even gonna do nothing else. I'm just gonna get in the bed right now.
I ain't
I
even
don't even.
gonna talk.
I ain't even gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I ain't even gonna take a shower. I'm just gonna lay in this
Just roll
glory.
over and sleep. Yes.
Yes, I feel that right there is amazing. So for me, I love porn as well. I don't always have to have a porn playing because I can either go back and forth between stuff that me and my dude have made, and porn, or if I'm just really in the moment, just my thoughts alone can take me there.
Yes.
um I love toys. And so I definitely have spent a lot of times just using my fingers to masturbate. And I love being able to do that for myself too as well. But I have discovered some amazing toys and I just love them. Yeah, I just really, really love toys. And then I recently, well, I won't say recently, I discovered that, okay, so you know that a lot of women, the left side of their clitoris, that upper left quadrant area, is usually the most sensitive part of the clitoris.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and so for a while, I would just kind of play around in that area, but I wasn't really focusing in on that part. And then recently, I really started just focusing on that left side. And when I say those orgasms have been crazy,
It's different.
um, yes. And I just will take a vibrator and I will just put it right there and I'll go to town. And I've been able to get to an orgasm quicker. So if I got something I need to do, I'm just going to sit it right there. I kind of squeeze my legs a little bit. Squeeze my legs a little bit and it's like boom. And I'm like, okay, well, there that goes. I'm good to
Yes.
go. I'm good to go. But when do you feel that you learned, I guess, what technique works for you? Because sometimes it takes us time to figure out if we like fingers. Do we like two fingers? Do I even want fingers, my own fingers inside of me? Am I just going to play with my clitoris? Or, when did you realize, all right, this is that method I like and I'm going to stick with this?
Man. Judge free zone. So so the moment I realized what I like was actually in high school.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been actually blessed enough that I've had a group of friends who were as comfortable with their bodies as I am. So we openly had these conversations. So we would definitely trade tips, notes. I remember one Christmas we gave each other sex toys. We were too wild in high school. Like,
I mean, like, dang, y'all giving out sex toys in high school? Where was I at?
I know, right? I'm saying, think about it. Like, I would keep my daughter, but I did it. So, being open and having these different conversations with my friends and listening to what they do and listening to what I do, I definitely figured it out in high school, like how I like to be touched.
Okay.
Like I definitely reach orgasm quicker when I'm just playing with my clit. You do
Right.
like that circular motion,
That,
and then right when I get close, like, and it's funny because you said the left side, because that's always been my side. Like,
okay.
that's
Okay.
my friend, and you said it. I'm like, wow, I didn't even
Yeah.
said it. And so definitely like circular motions. And then right when I'm at that peak, I do like a up and down rhythm to it.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
I definitely learned that in high school. What movements I like. As far as fingering myself, if
Hmm.
I have enough time, I do it. So I'll have like one hand the fingers are inserted, then the other hand is like playing with the clit. So it's like
Right.
one the fingers are going in and the clit, and that's when it's just I'm like, yeah, that's what I needed today. It's like my coffee, you know.
Oh, and we love our coffee.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's what I need.
Okay.
And the thing with toys is a lot of my downside relationship with toys is that they're not always easily accessible to me. And
Right.
I'm not trying to get up to dig my toy out of the stash spot because I don't want nobody to find my stuff.
We need to get you like a little chest and you can get a key and you'll keep your toys in there.
So that way, all I gotta do is just reach for 'em. So that
Yep.
was
Right up under the bed.
why I have that love hate relationship when it comes to masturbating and toys, because it's like if I'm in the moment, I don't want to pause or stop or
Right.
be like, all right, where did I put it this time? Because I have
Right.
to move it around. When my fingers are attached to my body,
Yeah.
they're always there. They're
Yep.
always ready.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't have a problem with toys. It's just that they're not as accessible for when I need them at that moment.
Okay. So damn, maybe they just too accessible for me because I always listen. I got little tiny.
To
I know, right? I got little tiny vibrators, I got big vibrators. The only toy that I am not really thrilled about is the dildo. So I have one, and I definitely have enjoyed times with my dildo, but for me, I want my man when I'm pulling out my dildo. That means I need the dick. And the dildo just doesn't do it for me, so I go to my vibrator. But I am like, I have a love-hate relationship with my dildo. Like, it's not, what's funny is my dildo is not even with my other toys. Like, it's somewhere else. It's not even with the family. It's somewhere else because I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me in that moment of, if I'm gonna use it, I'm like, no, I just want him. I want that one. I don't want this one.
yes, I can't, like, I don't dildos. I'm with you. It doesn't do anything for me. I
Yeah.
can do a vibrator all day because
Yeah.
of the clitoral stimulation.
Yeah.
But like you said, why get a dildo when I can get him? Like, I want to
The whole body.
rub and hold and
Yes.
squeeze, and I want you in my ear. I want to be in your ear, and
Yes.
I probably won't. I don't see myself ever even using a dildo, to be honest with you. They just never done anything for me. Vibrators I can get down with.
Yeah. Now I will tell you this. I will say when a dildo is useful is when you guys want to do a little double penetration, and he uses the dildo in you anally while he's fucking you. That, my friend, is another great moment in time.
Problem with that is, me and Anal have not been friends. Like,
Oh,
she does not cooperate to save my
oh,
life.
see, you know what you need to do? You need to train it. You need to get you some anal plugs and start off small and then sort of just work. So I had to do that. But I've always liked a finger in the butt, different things like that.
And that's about as good as she gives me is a
Okay.
finger.
So I love
She's
that.
like, nah, you playing yourself, sis. Ain't
Right,
nothing.
you doing too much, you tripping. But
You
when I started with the anal plugs, and so I went from anal plugs to also playing with myself anally. So when I did that, then I can kind of, for me, I had to definitely go through playing with myself anally to be able to take actual penetration back there.
Okay.
So I would say if it is something that you're interested in trying, I would definitely start off with the anal plugs and sort of just training yourself back there, and doing it that way. And then slowly, like, all right, now I think I can take a little bit of that. But
Right.
it's definitely one of those things where you have to be very comfortable. You have to be relaxed. You have to be a little tipsy. I would say don't get too tipsy because you want to remember the moment.
Right.
You don't want to be so fucked up that you're like, wait, we did it back there. That's why my booty feel like this the next day. So I would say just get a little bit tipsy. That way you're just relaxed. If you want to try it, anal's not for everybody. I love it. I think it's a great orgasm, and
Mhm.
once you get past that initial feeling, it's a great feeling. Um, yeah, listen, I can go
Yeah,
on and on
I
with
have
those.
to get there. Like I want to, because I did have one session where I was actually able to enjoy it,
Okay,
and then after that, she was just kind of like,
like now
you
I'm
can knock
good.
that off your bucket list. Like we're not we're not going that way no more.
Yes,
But I do definitely like I try to relax.
yeah,
People told me like use lots of lube and everything.
yes,
We don't really use like lube because, like I said,
yeah.
a bit
So
less.
I don't use lube
So
either, and I don't use lube during anal either. I am very wet naturally.
right,
And
yeah.
so we just use my own juices back there. But of course, for somebody, ladies, if you ain't juicy like that, yes, get the lube.
Ain't nothing wrong with the lube.
Yeah, at all, and get the right lube for anal. Apparently, water-based lube is best for when doing anal, and just kind of train your body because you definitely have to know how much you can take for yourself before you let a man's thing go in there.
Right.
Um, But so I am not going to take up too much of your time, but I do want to end the show with some masturbation confessions. Now, I can go
Okay.
first, or you can go first. You know, if you ready, you can go first. I'll let you, since you're my guest. I'll let you go first.
Okay. I mean, I guess the only crazy confession is that sometimes at work,
Oh my god, it sounds like. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
when I take my breaks,
Yes.
uh, I go off to the car,
Mm-hmm.
lean that seat back,
Mm-hmm.
and I go to work.
Yes.
And that's during my little 15-minute breaks. And then I got my lunch. I'll get my lunchtime, and then I go back and I do it again.
Listen, listen. I am not mad at you, and I am not mad because that was gonna be my confession.
I told you we
Be-
kindred over here.
because so for me, I okay. I write a lot, and I just pray that no one at my job listens to my podcast. You guys shouldn't, because many of you do
Girl,
not know what
listen.
I do. Um, However, I a lot of times I'm writing during my downtime, and I write erotica. So I am becoming aroused in those moments, and I will just
Right.
go off and masturbate. And when I tell you that, those sessions sometimes are the best, because you know that, okay, I gotta kind of hurry up. I don't want to get caught. And they're just great. But yeah, that was going to be my confession as well too. But I do have another one that I'll share with
Okay.
you guys. And so this happened to me maybe a few months ago. So it was one night, well, one evening. I think I went out to like day drink, and I came home and I wanted to masturbate. And what's funny is that I wasn't necessarily aroused. Like, I wasn't. I just told myself, you're gonna go masturbate, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I get my vibrator, and I'm a little embarrassed. So I'm on the floor, right? And I'm, using the vibrator, but it's taking me forever to have an orgasm. I know I was wet.
Hate that.
I know I was wet. But it was just taking forever. But I was so tipsy that it was just like, whatever, I'm gonna just leave it here. Well, to make a long story short, I ended up the gland is called the skin, oh my god, I know I'm going to be saying this wrong, skins gland, Sken gland, and it's apparently right underneath, or right near the what's considered the G spot in the female. So there's your
Okay.
clitoris, then there's the G spot, and apparently this gland is in between there. So by me not orgasming, but continuing to masturbate, I'm sort of like retaining um all of that, and it ended up
Hmm.
swelling that gland so bad to the point that I thought something was wrong down there. And I
Oh
so I
wow.
had to go to the doctor. And I go to the doctor, right? And so I thought my IUD had slipped, because it was sort of pressure down there.
Right.
And I'm like, damn it, like my IUD it must be coming out or something. And so the doctor, it was a man doctor too. The doctor
Oh
was
man.
like, he said, well, your IUD is it's good. It's in the right spot. He was like, but let me feel around and you tell me where it hurts. And he felt that
Right.
gland. And I was like, oh my God, right there. And he named the gland, and he was like, well, it's swollen. I'll just give you some antibiotics for this. And I was like, well, how does that happen? And he was like, well, there's several different ways that this can take place.
Oh my
Um, he's like, I'll just tell you, take a warm bath and rub that area. When he said take a warm bath and just rub it, I was like, that's what the fuck got me into this position in the first place. Oh my God.
oh my
I
god, that
said,
is
this is
so
horrible.
funny.
Yes. And I had to take antibiotics to get it to go down. And I said, God damn. But I mean, I laid there with the vibrator playing with myself at least for 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was tipsy, and it was just, yeah. So that's my confession. Don't nobody hit me up about that. All right. Only one person knows about it now. All of you guys know about that. But Kay, please let my audience know what you have going on, where they can follow you, all that great stuff.
Okay, so you guys can follow me on Instagram and Facebook under authoress underscore guest GUESS. I just released my second self-published book
Whoop,
called
whoop.
Zodiac Sisters. Like I said, I definitely work right in the paranormal genre. So if you like witches, powers, ghosts, zombies,
Wow.
anything that's not of this world, you need to check out my work.
Yes. Awesome. That's exciting. Well, congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
You know, I love authors because I am one myself. So, you guys, please go check her out. I'll be sure to leave all of her information in the description section of this episode. This episode will drop on Monday. Until next time, you guys, do not forget to indulge in your sexual appetite.